They have been left with no cooperation from the governor, from the mayor. What else do you expect them to do? And in spite of that, in spite of the fact that you would think, that it would be a bipartisan effort to just get criminals out of our country. I mean, it's actually totally insane to me that this is where we're at in 2026. The Democrats are taking to the streets and acting like little human shields to avoid our federal government taking out the trash, taking out actual criminals. These are not people's abuelas, just innocent abuelas. I know that's another leftist talking point that I've heard. It's just these innocent illegals, which, by the way, just that in and of itself makes them criminals. But these are people with lengthy rap sheets. Like, you're going to go out there and be a martyr and act like a human shield for a child rapist? Be my guest, I guess. And Democrats just actually, this is how sick they are. They are watching this happen. They are watching these people try to obstruct our law enforcement from getting criminals out of our communities. And now they're fundraising off of his death. You have this Democrat Act Blue notification here. Alex Pretty is the limit. Governor Walz, end the operation. Stand with us. Donate $50 for 200% match if you just click on our Act Blue link. That is, I mean, again, I told you there is no bar with them. That is one of the lowest things that I have ever said. Governor Walz is the one who has blood on his hands from encouraging this violent and illegal behavior in his state. Maybe if he had actually cooperated in the first place, we would not be where we're at. Oh, but wait, that's not what he wants. He wants to fundraise, clearly. Now, it turns out this guy wasn't just a peaceful protester. You guys are going to be shocked to hear. According to the latest reports, he was mobilized by a highly organized left-wing group through messages. This is a far-left network that helped put Alex Pretty in harm's way, then made him a martyr. These are encrypted signal messages that show rapid responders mobilized demonstrators to harass federal agents, and socialist groups capitalized on killing to foment protests. So they're using the app Signal, and these Signal group chats, they're all coordinated. They're all coordinated and planned to create chaos and impede law enforcement from doing their jobs. They've been organizing these protests using databases to report and send out blasts. I think we have a picture of those databases to report and send out blasts to people to get them to interfere with law enforcement, which, as it turns out, is totally against the law. They are all breaking the law, and they are, as they are breaking the law, making themselves more unsafe and the ICE officers more unsafe. So everyone in the situation is now made more unsafe. The only difference is that there is one perpetrator of an illegal act, and there is one who is literally just going in there trying to do their damn job, which is totally lawful. Taking violent criminals out of our communities. Okay, so let me show you this other one. Backup needed at the Black Forest Inn parking lot on Nicollet Avenue, just south of 26th Street. Multiple vehicles with many agents appear to be staging there. One confirmed ICE vehicle seen was a maroon Dodge Durango, but it has driven away northbound on Nicollet. And then they sent more people to mobilize after the guy was shot as well. So you come here to cause problems. You cause the problems. You have, of course, the consequence of you causing the problems. And then the solution, apparently, to these losers is to encourage more protests, more problems, more chaos, more confusion. And somehow it's the ICE agents' fault. And if you don't believe that this is the true intention of the Democrats at the very top, why don't I read to you what Bernie Sanders said after the shooting happened? I want to thank our courageous friends in Minnesota who, in below freezing temperatures, are standing up to ICE. The American people want democracy and justice, not authoritarianism. When we stand together, we win. So he is actually commending the people going out there and obstructing ICE and making them less safe. He has the audacity, the American people want democracy and justice, not authoritarianism. As if we didn't just elect a little over a year ago, a president to come in and deport the criminals? These people hate democracy, actually. This is the very essence of democracy. The people asked for it. The people voted for it. They're getting what they wanted. And you're going to call that authoritarianism? I mean, you listen to these people for longer than 5 minutes and you realize they don't want democracy at all. In fact, they hate democracy. They hate it. We see what they do every time they get just a little sliver of power. Just a little sliver of the authoritative smell. Like it's like there's sharks and there's blood in the water. This is really despicable stuff from Bernie Sanders, just kind of encouraging more people to take to the streets and do all of the illegal acts, knowing that he's not going to be out there in harm's way. He can encourage all of these dummies, all of these sheep to take to the streets. He's not going to be there. He's like, miss me with that, but you guys go out on ahead. I'm just going to fan the flames here and see what happens. Obama had the audacity to weigh in as well. The killing of Alex Priddy is a heartbreaking tragedy. It should also be a wake-up call to every American, regardless of party, that many of our core values as a nation are increasingly under assault. Federal law enforcement and immigration agents have a tough job, but Americans expect them to carry out their duties in a lawful, accountable way and to work with rather than against state and local officials to ensure public safety. We're seeing the opposite in Minnesota. For weeks now, people across the country have been rightly outraged by the spectacle of masked ICE recruits and other federal agents acting with impunity and engaging in tactics that seem designed to intimidate, harass, provoke, and endanger the residents of a major American city. Now that, my friends, is so rich. That is so rich, coming from a man who also was known as the deporter-in-chief. Let's listen to Obama not that long ago.
I'm the president of the United States. I'm not the emperor of the United States. My job is to execute laws that are passed. And Congress right now has not changed what I consider to be a broken immigration system. And what that means is that we have certain obligations to enforce the laws that are in place, even if we think that in many cases the results may be tragic. There are going to be some stories that break our hearts. And more importantly, we're going to continue to have an economy that is stifled by a really inefficient system where not only are we deporting folks, but we also have a legal immigration system that is so bottlenecked that it forces sometimes people into the illegal system.
Up until the first 10 seconds, Barack Obama of 2013 is like the Sara Gonzales of 2026. Like, yes, we have laws on the books. And by the way, the most important piece that you just heard him say is, yeah, there are going to be stories that are sad. There are going to be stories that just break your heart. There are going to be stories about, young kids who have to go back because their families are going back. And like, that's okay. But harden your hearts, guys. Harden your hearts. Saving this country isn't for the weak. Saving this country isn't for the faint of heart. What else do you think is going to happen? We have to enforce federal law, and federal law says they gotta go. Interesting coming from the Barack Obama who dares say what he said yesterday. So I don't understand what Democrats expected to happen here. They have been inviting an escalation for months. They have been telling people to go out to prevent ICE from doing their jobs, to protect the criminals, the illegal criminals. Accidents are going to happen in this powder keg. There are going to be problems. There are going to be times where the chaos turns deadly. That is the fault of the agitators, not the ICE officers. This is not the time to give in to them. They created this chaos by resisting law enforcement. And when someone creates chaos, you don't give in to them. When someone starts throwing a fit, when your toddler has a meltdown, you have your toddler who's throwing an epic tantrum. What happens if you give in to them? What do they learn? They learn to throw a tantrum every single time to get their way because they've learned that you'll give it to them. As a parent, you know that's not the right thing to do. You know the right thing to do is to stand strong, which is what we need to do in this particular situation. Now, President Trump posted on True Social earlier, Governor Tim Walz called me with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, and that what we are looking for are any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We have had such tremendous success in D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, and both Governor Walz and I want to make it better in Minnesota. I want to kind of encapsulate all of this with this point. If Governor Walz had worked with him at the beginning, there are at least 2 Minnesota citizens who would still be with us. And Governor Walz is going to have to deal with that. Okay? Now, on top of that, Kristi Noem and some of the administration who have made comments after the fact I was not impressed by them. I was not impressed by them at all. Actually, they were very misleading. You have a right to bring a gun wherever you would like to go. You also have a responsibility to make sure that chaos doesn't break out because you have a gun and you're acting in an irresponsible manner. On top of that, if you are reckless while having a firearm on you, expect consequences. Okay? I carry all the time. You know how I don't get shot by ICE? I don't arm myself with a loaded weapon and start breaking the law and start a fight with law enforcement officers. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. I want you to go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Smash the like button. Comment. It'll help us in the algorithm. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.